Ultra Magnus? Is that you? No, it's still me. Just getting ready for winter. Sup guys, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at this Baiwei knockoff of the Transformers Studio Series 32 Optimus Prime, but with a more, lighter repaint, of course. Now, some say this is a repaint of Ultra Magnus. No, it is not. It is just an Optimus Prime, but I guess a more winter vibe-ish Optimus. If this were to be Ultra Magnus, there would have been a predominance of blue and red color schemes around this figure. But since we're missing red, not so much. Although, this figure could still work as a Bay vs Ultra Magnus for me. Anyways, I got this figure off of AliExpress. This was the very first figure I ever picked up on AliExpress, and I do plan on getting more. Fun fact about this figure, it was less than $15, which is pretty cheap when compared to what the original 32 Optimus Prime goes for in the aftermarket. Never mind the Studio Series 32 Optimus when you could just get the Baiwei knockoffs for a really good price off of AliExpress. Now, the name of this knockoff is called the Baiwei 1022 Star Leader, and there's been plenty of repaints of this guy. There's, of course, the original, the Nemesis Prime version, and then there's a Nemesis Prime where it's all green, and then there's this guy where it's repainted white, and then there's a blue clear plastic one as well. And then the interesting thing about the original Star Leader was that it kept on breaking multiple times, so Baiwei went their way to do like a refined version, or excuse me, a version 2 of the figure. How you can tell the difference between the first version and the second version of the original Baiwei Star Leader is that the original version has clear plastic on the lower part of the neck, whereas the version 2 does not. That's the one you want, the version 2 one with the non-clear plastic bottom neck. Anyways, like I've said multiple times before on this mold, painting and sculpting, really good. Although, is it accurate to what the figure looks like in the movie? Dare I say not even close. However, his screen accuracy does not take away from how cool this toy is. The designers over at Hasbro did a really good job with the 32 mold. It's a shame that it costs so much nowadays. That was, of course, with a lot of figures. That's where Baiwei came in and did their knockoffs, and some of them have die-cast metal on their figures. And sometimes they repaint these figures and they look really good repainted. And the best part is that they're cheap too, depending on where you order these figures. If it's Amazon, it's going to be a lot. If it's on AliExpress though, you could probably get this figure for about less than $15 out of the box. Oh, and of course this figure has die-cast metal, which is a pretty interesting feature added to the toy. That's quite a trend with really good knockoffs nowadays, where some of the parts are die-cast metal. And I'm all for it. I like it. It feels premium to me. Oh, and one thing to note is that you could actually move this little panel down, which was something you couldn't do in the 32 Optimus mold for some reason. But it was something that you could do for the 05 mold. But of course, Baiwei went the easy route and added this feature onto the 32 Optimus Prime mold like it should have been. And yeah, it just makes things look a little better. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to address is that the chest pieces over here, they're no longer just plastic, but rather clear plastic. And they're very tight, so do be careful with that. Well, anyways, I think it's time we start talking about his accessories. Now, unfortunately, there are no guns, not even one of them, so I guess that's why there's 4 of them, because instead of 2 guns and 2 swords, they have 4 swords. But there is a difference between the 2 pairs. Starting with this one, this is the one that you hold right here, where it just goes on the bottom of the hand, and it serves as that sort of sword that you usually see throughout the Bayverse. Now here's a comparison between this and the original 05 sword. You could see some differences there. Well, obviously with the paint and the clear plastic, but not just that, that there's a gap right there, which was something that was not in the sword for the 05 Optimus. And then next there's the sword that he holds with his hand, like so, like you would a normal sword. Here it is next to the original 44 Optimus's sword. Unlike the 44 Optimus sword, the Baiwei knockoff sword is clear plastic with some chrome painted onto it, of course. Whereas the original, it's just gray and this section right here repainted orange. Now, since he comes with 4 swords in 2 different pairs, you could have him holding the swords in this way, or you could have him in this way, where he's holding the sword on his wrist, and he's just gripping the other sword. Now, unfortunately, weapon storage does not necessarily work for this guy, other than these 2 slots right here, that you just peg the wrist swords, I guess, right there. Perhaps that looks a little bit too goofy. It works. And just to think that those 4 accessories would be enough, he comes with some extra stuff. Now, this is what the figure should look like when you get him out of the packaging. But you could actually make some modifications and swap his head, of course. So you can have his head where he's got the faceplate, or you can have the head where it shows his little mouth right there. And this is a completely different mold that was not present in any of the official Hasbro Studio Series figures. I believe this is something Baiwei completely did off their own, and they did a really good job with the mouth face. Oh, and you can also in fact have 2 different chest pieces. One where he's got the 6-pack, or you could have this type of chest piece, as was seen in the 2007 movie and Revenge of the Fallen. Now, usually this piece would just be one whole piece, but Baiwei decided to split it into 2 pieces, so that way it could show the inside a little bit, but there's a little bit of extra plastic that wasn't supposed to be there, so it's kind of blocking the way. Either way, I still think it's kind of cool that it's split into 2 pieces. Now, there is actually some accessory storage for this 6-pack chest piece right here, where you just remove the backpack, or not remove the backpack, but untap the backpack, untap the grills as well, and there's this little gap right here. You're going to want to have the chest like this, slide it on there, close in the grills, and then close in the chest piece, and it stays there. You give it a little shake, nothing happens. And I believe that is pretty much the gist of this figure's accessories. But let's see how he pairs up with the original Hasbro Studio Series 3244 Optimus Prime's accessories. Here he is with his gun. Here he is with the axe. Here he is with the shield that no one likes. Ooh, I hope I didn't break anything there. Now, what I personally recommend you do is try to move this out in a way where you can fold this down, and there you go. There you have a little bit more of an accurate shield. Of course, the hand is bent, but still. And then here he is with Megatron's big shotgun. And then lastly, here he is with the Gatling guns. Now, if you've seen my review of the Nemesis Prime repaint of this figure, I tried to attach the 44 jetpack onto this knockoff, but it didn't work because the little slot right here is a little smaller than the original 3244 Optimus Prime mold slot. Thus, I can't tab the jetpack onto the figure for some reason. However, there is a knockoff jetpack that Baiwei did, of course, that you can implement onto this figure. And I'm assuming the tab is just as small as the slot right here. Oh, and by the way, that jetpack does come with a full set of the trailer, an extra shield that unfolds the grip to hold the shield properly. Of course, better Gatling guns, and a buttload of wheels. Oh, and one more thing I'd like to address is that there is a weapons accessory multi-pack or something like that Baiwei did, where it's for Optimus, and it comes with 2 knuckle dusters, 2 hooks, 2 guns, 2 axes, and I think a shield. Yeah, that's a must. Anyways, with the accessories said and done, I think we can get down to articulation. Starting off, a ball joint at the head, which of course can allow an up and a down, and a swivel. Full rotation at the arm. Shoulder pad moves out, which allows an extended bend at the shoulder. Bicep swivel, bend at the elbow. Wrist swivel, waist swivel. Leg can move forward. Can't necessarily move backward too much due to the grill section over here and the wheels. Almost forgot to mention a spread at the legs. Knee rotation. Knee pad moves out. Bend at the knee. Foot can move up and down. And lastly, a pivot joint. Well, anyways, let's get down to size comparison. Starting off, here he is next to the original 32 Optimus Prime. Here he is next to the Nemesis Prime, 05 Nemesis Prime, 38 Nemesis Prime, 102 Optimus, Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, Sideswipe, Dino, Ratchet, Baiwei Ironhide, Baiwei Sentinel Prime, Baiwei Megatron, Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. Can't wait for that Baiwei knockoff. And lastly, Leader Class Dark of the Moon Megatron. Yeah, he's pretty big. Actually, you know what? Let's do one more. Let's do Jetfire. I don't think the combination works with this guy. Actually, no, it doesn't work. This tab is supposed to tab in between here, but no, they got rid of that. Well, anyways, now I think it's time we do the transformation, which is still a complex transformation and quite hard for me to remember how I did it in the previous review. But hey, when there's complex transformation, you know you have a good figure. So starting off, what I tend to do is just work on the legs. What you might want to do is fold this leg in, or the foot, and then open that out, close in the wheel. Same thing with the other side, and then you just go ahead and tab these in. What you're going to do is push that down, and then push this down. And there you go, it'll tab into place. Now for the rest. Real quick, let's work on the arms. What you're going to do is untab this, fold that hand in, and then there will be a tab right there that will peg into that slot right there, and then it should tab in like so. Same process applies with the other side, and then what you're going to do is just straighten them out, fold these in, and then we work on this side right here. What you're going to do is open these up, untab all of this, fold it out, and leave it out like so. Next, what you're going to do is open up these grills, and then open the shoulder tabs out as well. Oh, and make sure you rotate this as well. Almost forgot to address that. Untab these as well. Leave those down like so. What you're going to do next is open this up, open these up as well, and then when you push down on it, it will open up the panel. Make sure the panel is folded in as well, and then make sure you have these aligned in a way where this can go over, and then make sure it closes in right there. Also, that tab will stay right beneath there as well, and then yeah, you just leave this out like so. Next, what you're going to want to do is fold or flip the face, and then it will reveal that. Close this in, make sure it stays like so, and then what you're going to do is close in this panel right here, and then untab the chest, and then what you're going to do next is close that down. Make sure everything is straightened first, and then close this in, and then this should tab in like so. Same goes for the other side. You might want to leave these down here as well, so it could allow some space to work on the arms. So then what you're going to do is move this down, move this out, and then close this in, leave this out like so. Close that in as well. Oh, and make sure that this shoulder joint right here is moved out, so that way it's over this the square panel like so. And then make sure that this tab right here pegs into that pegs it to, there's a slot right there somewhere. I'm not sure why the tab isn't, it isn't cooperating for some, oh wait, there we go, got it in. You do the same thing for the other side, and then you go ahead and close everything in, and then close in the grills as well. Make sure the two tab in, or at least like, let's see, tab right here, and then tab in like so. Next, what you're going to want to do is open this out, close that in, and then just close in the grill like so, and then come to this and make sure everything tabs in. There's actually a tab right here that will peg into that slot right there. Make sure that that tabs in as well, and then you do the same thing for the other side. And here you have Optimus Prime in his alternate mode. And not gonna lie, the Peterbilt 379 in white color scheme looks pretty good, especially with the blue flames. However, they also forgot to add blue flames on the side panel, which was something that the Nemesis Prime repaint also didn't have. But hey, they have it here, which I guess this is where they decided to place it rather than over here. Because I don't think there's flames on, no, there's no flames on the 32 mold where it's over here. So far, the painting and sculpting on this figure's pretty nice for the alternate mode. However, there is a gappage right here. Oh, and the smokestacks are a little bit taller than they were on the 32 mold. And of course there's the robot mode kibble, but it's not too bad. This is something that's been around since the Age of Extinction 2014 Invasion Mode Optimus Prime, and has honestly plagued every Bayverse Voyager Optimus Prime mold ever since. I think we need something new. Now, for weapon storage, it could also work over here, but for some reason it doesn't necessarily work well somewhere around this place, so it's honestly just better to have them tabbed onto the sides like so. And there's like no place for these swords to be put anywhere. Oh, and you can put the gun right on the side over there as well. Or you can come to this side, move the smokestack out, and have the slot of the gun tab onto that little bump right there. And it tabs better than the 32 mold. For some reason, the 32 mold's bump on the side of the front over here has a hard time trying to connect with the gun. But hey, it works for the Baiwei one over here. And then if you want, you could have the gun right there. Although that looks a little awkward and weird. However, unfortunately, this, of course, doesn't work. For some reason, neither does the hitch for the trailer. And I'm not going to force it in because I don't want to break anything. I mean, perhaps you could just have the trailer hitch resting upon the figure and then just move it around just slowly. Not like abruptly to the point where the trailer hitch slides off. But of course that's where the Baiwei trailer comes into place. Now, it would appear as if the grill in the front looks as if it's die-cast. No, it's not. It's plastic, just painted chrome. And it looks really good. Now, for a quick comparison, let's just compare them alongside the Nemesis Prime and the original 32 Optimus. They're pretty much the same size, with just, of course, the paint scheme being a little different. And honestly, I like it. I like the different types of color variants that you can get along the Baiwei stuff. That's pretty cool. And to be honest, this figure would serve really well as an Ultra Magnus, or a Bayverse Ultra Magnus. Anyone think Ultra Magnus should have been in the Bayverse? If so, let me know in the comments which movie. Or perhaps I should do a community tab on that. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I have to say for this guy. Overall, pretty great figure. If you want to pick this figure up, I highly recommend AliExpress. You can find him for pretty good deals there. And you could perhaps get this guy in a bundle with the weapons accessory pack and the Jetwing trailer pack. I'm sure for some, it's quite hard to believe that just this figure, whose original was about like a good 90 bucks, is only $11 without the box. There's an option where you could get this guy with the box, which is like $20, and without the box, which is like $11. I believe you can also get this guy on Amazon, but he'd cost about like 36 bucks. So yeah, definitely check out AliExpress. Well, anyways, if you like what you saw in this video, be sure to slam that like button, share this with your friends, turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss another video, and most importantly, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button so that way this YouTube channel could pass 5,000 subscribers before 2024. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. See ya!